Chester, what were some of the other things that consumers were complaining about?
Well, there were a range of things, everything from like the rear windshield glass, which apparently suffered some stress fractures, to things about the trim of the vehicle, how the metal fit together. So there are some fairly basic things, the Model 3, that are not easy to fix with a software patch, which is something Tesla's done in the past, and are likely to dog it for some time to come.
Right. Tesla said in response to this report that they've made significant improvements to many of the areas of criticism. How much progress really do you think has been made, though?
Well, as you say, Tesla said that they've addressed this at the manufacturing level. That doesn't help the cars that are currently on the road, but as they ramp up production, they claim that this is no longer an issue. I guess we'll just have to wait until the next round to see. Like I said, it's with this issue as they try to expand their capacity and their production run. The type of mechanical issues they face are not necessarily things they can fix with software. So, this is the type of problem that, a lot of automakers face as they ramp up production. It's just that with Tesla aspiring to produce so many of these Model 3s, it'll be a very interesting challenge to see whether they've got the moxie to pull it off and not have a lot of these type of problems continue to crop up.
So shares fell after this report came out, and this comes after several price cuts when it comes to the Model 3. So how do you see this report impacting demand?
Well, it's probably not a positive. What you're referring to is just the concern that, maybe demand is a little softer on the margins. And, for people that maybe not are huge Tesla fans, but are just interested in the vehicle and are comparing them to other vehicles, something like this definitely doesn't help. So, as you mentioned, the stock fell to, 1 month lows below $300. And I think there's a little bit of wariness out there to make sure that, the fairly strong demand we saw in 2018 is going to be sustainable going into 2019 and beyond.
Now, what I thought was interesting is that the car fell to number 19 in Consumer Reports brand rankings, down from 11 spots from last year, and its lowest ever. Why such a dramatic fall?
Well, that refers not just to the Model 3, but to all Tesla vehicles. It currently has 3 production models, and the Model X SUV has long had some issues in the Consumer Reports ratings, and the Model S has had some issues too. So basically, they do not recommend any of the 3 models, and I think altogether that's what brought down the ranking of the brand so dramatically out of the top 10, and it's no longer even the best American brand. It's like it was last year. It fell below Buick and Lincoln in this year's rating.
Now, how much weight do car buyers really put on this Consumer Reports rating?
Well, it's hard to say. The Consumer Reports is seen as a very reliable and an independent source of information. So I think among car buyers who, as I mentioned before, may not be devoted to Tesla, but are simply looking to compare it to other vehicles on the market, it could have some impact. On the other hand, what we've seen with Tesla is that many of its initial buyers, the early adopters, are all in on Tesla. And one interesting finding is that even Consumer Reports admits that the satisfaction ratings with Tesla are quite high, in part because people just want to buy the car, despite the fact that they have had some problems, once they start driving the vehicles and encounter mechanical other issues.